Hi everyone, just want to switch up content for a bit, so today I will show you a Plamo Tools haul. I got this from a local seller here in Singapore who sells them for a good price. I probably got most of my Plamo stuff from her because she sells them significantly cheaper than the local shops. The first item is the Madworks Clear Super Glue. It's an instant adhesive with high viscosity that cures in about 3 to 10 minutes and supposedly easy to sand or cut. I will use this for some photo etch parts that I just purchased and also to fill holes, panel lines, or gaps. I saw somewhere that you need to keep this in the fridge before using it because they go off really quickly. Next is the Mr. Hobby measuring cup with pourer. This is very helpful for me because I tend to make a mess when pouring pre-mixed paints from the bottle to the airbrush cup. I also thought that this would be a better economical choice than using droppers that are almost disposable and hard to wash. This cup has a good width and depth and is surprisingly made of very hard plastic that doesn't bend easily. This pack includes 6 of them and that should be plenty enough for most of the painting I do. Next is the Madworks Line Carving Guide. I have only seen this tool used once on YouTube before, but this is a great tool to scribe symmetrical lines, especially on identical parts. You can also use this to make some chamfered edges and to create height difference on parts. You can use this with a Madworks hook blade or alpha blades or probably any thin blade. I think this is an underrated tool that is actually very useful for detailing work. Next are the Madworks DLC .125 and .4 chisels. I already started with this line of chisels and I have no complaints with them other than that they are long and could be tiring to handle on extended durations. It could be more expensive than other options, but I'm just trying to acquire more blades of different thickness at this point. These blades will surely fit with the Madworks MH01 multifunction handle or an Alpha 10B art knife. Next is the Madworks CP3 3mm sanding sponges set. I actually tend to use the Wave Soft sanding sticks or the Dispeya aluminum sanding boards, but I need these sponges from time to time. They are pretty similar to the more expensive Gadhan sanding sponges that I used before. This set includes 4 pieces of each 400, 600, 1000, 1500, and 3000 grit sanding sponge. Next is the Alexan Model AJ88 Camouflage Cutting Mat. This is a mask cutting guide where you stick a masking tape sheet on top of the mat and use the guide to make some camo patterns. You can actually use both sides, so there's a lot of patterns to choose from. This mat is in good quality stainless steel that's very sturdy and they even labeled each pattern for reference. Next is the Alexan Model AJ0049 Revolved Circular Hole Making Digging Tool. Okay, that's a mouthful, but this is basically a photo etch sheet of drills that let you make flat and chamfered holes. It doesn't come with a handle, but it should work with most of the art knife handles. I'm using the Alpha 216BY art knife as an example because the blade is pretty small. Next, we have the Hasegawa PA23 Medium Hexagon Modeling Mesh. This is a photo etch mesh that can be cut into different sizes for detailing. This was pricey for what it is, so I'll probably use this very sparingly. Next are some detailing photo etch parts from Steel Spirit, specifically model AW019C and AW097. I haven't tried using photo etch parts and it looks like this should last for a few kits. I also got some water slide decals from Steel Spirit. I honestly haven't tried dry transfer decals before because my first few Gunpla kits were all Verka or version KA, so these sets will be very handy. Next is a 36-piece set of Mr. Almighty mini clips by Mr. Hobby, item code GT101. These sticks are specially made to hold small parts, plus I can cut the bottom half of the stick for easier access when a lot of them are at the paint station. Next is the Jumpwood Neo Color Yellow. I haven't tried this brand before and they were pretty inexpensive, so I decided to give it a try. Next is the Mr. Color GX100 Super Clear 3. I honestly haven't settled for any finishing product yet, so I'm just trying different products and see what works the best. Next is the Vallejo Mecha Weathering Light Rust Wash. I want to try more weathering techniques and it will be handy to have a paint with a rust color instead of mixing paints together. I also pick up a Vallejo Mecha Color Electric Blue. These acrylic paints are tried and tested, so they don't need a lot of explanation. And lastly is the Vallejo Airbrush Flow Improver. I wanted to use more acrylics instead of lacquer due to health and safety concerns. And at the moment, I only have Vallejo acrylic paints in hand. They tend to work better when mixed with this and thinner, although there is something you have to experiment with as you work with different paints. And that's all for today. I know it's different from the usual content, but as hobbyists, we also enjoy this part of the hobby from time to time. I hope you all like it and please don't forget to subscribe for more content. See you!